Hey guys, I'm Willbender, and today we'll be doing a video based upon one of the comments that came to me through one of my last videos. This comment comes to us from Houston Rooste, who was asking me if I could make a video on how to increase troop attributes. And when I asked him to specify, he was looking for more how to increase archers or cav attack to like 1,000. Specifically on how much you'd have to spend. So unfortunately, I don't like making videos on how much you have to spend in the game, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over a comprehensive video on pretty much all of the different types of ways you can increase your troop attack up, and I'm going to try and go over the ones that you don't have to spend money on. And, you know, when I first looked at this comment, I was like, how am I going to make this? Because everybody's castle is different. Everybody's different in their progressions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my base cavalry attack, and I'm going to show you if I started maxing out certain things, how much that attack would increase. So this video is going to be a little more advanced. You're going to have to really pay attention on what I'm saying and what I'm doing in the game so that you guys can emulate it on your castles. So to start off, we have to know what my base cavalry attack is. And yes, we are going to focus on cav attack. They are the kings these days. They have dethroned archers. Although you could apply this exact same method to archers, we're going to focus on cav because that's what you should be doing anyways. So if we look down here, my base cav attack is 727%. So I'm going to put that number up here. That's the number we're going to be working with. And now I'm going to show you, if I were to start maxing out things from my progression, how we can get it up to max range. So 1000% and beyond. Because if you do notice, and I believe I can still look at this over here. No, I'm sorry. I have to go to my portrait. My bad. So I have to go over here to my portraits. I can look at global all unit attack range. You can see some people getting up into the 1500 range. So mine's going to get pretty close, but we'll see. And you'll see I'm not on the list. I'm not that good. Doesn't matter. Okay, so let's start off. We have a base of 727%. The first thing we're going to look at, it's probably one of the most important things you need to do, is your equipment. And in this case, we're going to look at the Archangel. The Archangel weapons have a chance of giving you cav attack at 11.40%. And since you can have 3 random attributes that can repeat, if you have one on your Lord and on your main marching hero, that's 11.40% times 6. If we were to have that maxed out, since I have 1, we are going to be timesing that by 5. So 11.40 times 5 would bring my base attack from 727 to 784. Quite a significant jump already, which is really good. So that's one of the things that should be focused on, getting the attributes for your Archangel Scepter, which you can do either by engraving or by making them with the ×2 and ×5 options. So the next one I'm going to go over, and this one you're going to kind of wonder why I'm only doing the low one, is you can pop a 40% attack boost for 1 hour. Now you might be saying, Willbender, it goes up to 100% if you get the auction item. This is true, but 40% is the highest that I've seen that you can get for free. The way you get it for free is if you go over here to your Tree of Life and you do the feedback option, which gives you an advanced feedback requirement for getting a map. I'll show you what that looks like. I'm kind of jumbling that up. Not the old one. I'm sorry, not the green one, but the purple one. When those get sent out in March, they have a chance of bringing back a 40% buff. So we're going to focus on the 40%, and then later on we'll go over the 100%. But with a 40% applied to this, my attack would then become 814%. The next one I'm going to go over is probably the biggest jump. And you may have actually underestimated. If you go over here to your Civilization Temple, Ancestral Spirit. And we'll just pick on this one. Any one of these you can focus on and you'll pretty much see it. But you have to go up to your top one here. This one's Dragonboard Rampage. If I scroll all the way down, I will see an option for cav attack. If I click on the exclamation mark, look how much that jumps all the way to the 10%. Right now I'm at 5.5, but it has a max level of 30. Max level of 30. So if I were to take that ×4, which would be 120, and reduce the amount that I've already done, which is pretty much all level 4s except for one that I'm a little slacking on, I get a 101.5% increase in cav attack, which brings me up to 925.5 cav attack. Now, trust me, maxing this out is no easy feat, but if you do, oh my lord, it's really strong. So the next one we're going to go over is the troop advancement. If you go over here to your CAVs and you click on the third option, the fourth option here, Unit Advancement, you'll see that you have a chance to get this one right here, which is your CAV attack, which mine currently is 9.5. The exclamation tells us our max, the exclamation that I was going to click shows us our max value, which is 25%. If I take 25%, minus it by the 9.5, I get a total of 15.5% added cavalry attack, which brings my total up to 941%. Now, the next one I'm going to show you is one that I'm reluctant to show you because I think it is the worst thing in the game. And I hate saying that because this game has done a pretty good amount of good. But it's the Mercy of the Gods, which is complete gambling. It's complete gambling. You have a chance to get nothing and no chance to bring up the promotion chance. However, I will go over it. So right now, I'm currently sitting at 7.5% excuse me, CAV added attack. If I hit the exclamation, the max amount here is 37.5. 37.5 minus 7.5 would give me a total of 30% added CAV attack, which would bring my total up to 971%. So far, we're almost really close to that 1,000 mark that the commenter wanted, but there is so much more to be done. Let's now look at the occult research. The occult research has two places where you can increase CAV attack. The first one would seem pretty obvious. This second book, this middle book on the left called Book of Battles. If I go over to the third book, we will see that I can increase my CAV to a total of 10%. There's a little bit of a graphical error here, but it's 10%. If I take that 10%, minus it by the 4% that I already have, I have a total of 6. But that's not, now this is also really hard because you have to kind of go in the line that it's asking you to go in. So you have to go all the way back to the second book and work on all those in order to catch it up to get to here. So it's very expensive. This is a very hard one to do. But a second one some people may not know about. If you go down here, the Book of Mineral Vein. I know it says Book of Mineral Vein. However, you can increase this in your book, and it works in both the Mineral Vein and in your normal kingdom. I don't get it, but it's whatever. If I take that, I have only 10 more percent to go through. If I take that added percentage there, between the Book of Battles and this, I have 7% added CAV attack I can get, which is 978% total thus far. Now we'll go to another very small upgrade, and that's in your Dragon Word. The Dragon Word that I'm going to be sporting pretty soon is going to be Skyfall. Skyfall is a really strong, very attainable word if you've been playing for at least a year or so. You've been playing regularly to get your stones. So I'm very close to that, and that will give me a 30% unit attack, which is very good. It's very good. In the context of CAV, it doesn't really increase the CAV attack like it does for archers, but it's still really good for us because even the one I'm using, which is Military Might, it has 18% unit attack with a 12% in CAV. 18 plus 12 equals 30, so I'm not losing CAV attack from this. I'm actually gaining a lot of offensive damages. The only way I can make this better is if I got Godslayer. Godslayer gives us an extra 5% attack for all units. So 5% added, if I were to get that, would give me 983% CAV attack. We're not done. We're going to go on over here to our Dragon Crystal. Currently, I'm sporting this one, which gives me 22%. It's also, the reason why those numbers are inflated is because I have, I'm going to show you right now. If I go down here, you'll see that I got enough charging power on the left-hand side to get the extra attributes. Plus, I'm also sporting the purple version of the same type of level 28 glass, so it's giving me a little added bonus of 11%. But if I were to do what I'm about to show you in this screenshot here, this is of my good buddy Tan, who has the 38 maxed out pretty well. If I were to get his glass, I could get an extra 10% CAV attack based upon the all unit attacks. If I had that, I would go from 983 to 993, very close to my target from the commenter. So let's go on over here and let's look at our hero really quick. One of the ones you may overlook, and one that I don't have just yet, but I'm getting there, is the new Death Knight hero. The new Death Knight hero is a CAV hero, and in its skills, the very first skill you get as soon as you recruit it is Thrust. Current increases CAV attack by 30% for 1 hour. It's still a guaranteed boost, so we're going to go over it. If I add that in there, I have now reached my potential of 1023. So I've reached that 1000 mark and we haven't even finished yet. But we are going to keep going. So I can show you just how high it goes. That is the Death Knight buff. From here, let's go on over to our magic book, which is one of the newer options and one that I actually do like. The magic book here allows you to get crystals, and you can get 5 different schools of books that will increase your stats and give you a pretty cool effect if you're wearing it. If I go on over here to our exclamation point, the exclamation point tells me if I were to max out everything, and I mean everything, even the level 5s, I would get 50% max cav attack. Currently, I'm sitting at 19.4%. Now, I do want to make a disclaimer. We're only going over things that are free. The level 5s are unattainable unless you are playing in an event, or if you're buying a pack. Those are the only 2 ways you can get it. So we're going to completely remove those possibilities. So cav attack for these is 3.1 across the board. 3.1 times 5. Then you reduce that by the number over here, which is from our max of 50, would eventually give us a 14, for me, an added 14.5% added cav attack, which would equal 1035.5. And that's if I max out every one of these 5 schools of magic from levels 1 to 4. And you can see I'm doing pretty good on these right now. But yeah, the level 5s we're just going to exclude for now. We'll include that maybe in the theoreticals. Now let's look at one that seems pretty obvious that I should have gone to first, and that's my science research. The only reason why I'm not doing my science research first is because I've maxed out a lot of what I can get from my science research already. But let me show you the ones that I do not have. For one, I do have every single military tree of cav attack, so we're not going to go over that. But if you have any extras, make sure you're filling those in. The first one we're going to look at, though, is advanced damage. Advanced damage, if I go all the way down here, click on the exclamation point there. So currently I'm sitting at 4%. It goes up to 10, so that gives me an added 6% just from that alone. Now we're going to keep on going past this. We're going to go into yet another area. I believe it's this one. Yes. So this one, you may see the one that has something called War Maniac. I have a lot of these already done. This is an all troop attack. But if you do not, then you want to add these in. For me, I'm only missing the last 2 down here, so we have to add an extra 2% on top of what I just said. And then there's one more spot that I will show you, and that is in your civilization science. If I scroll literally all the way down, there is a bloodbath option, which is like the War Maniac, all troop attack there. Again, on this one, I have 4 done out of 10. That's an added 6. If you include those 3 numbers that I just said, you will get an added 14% to your cav attack, which will bring it up to 1051.5%. Now, one of the last ones I'm going to go over, because we're going to start getting into theoretical territory after this, but the last one I'm going to show you is in your SVIP. If you're an SVIP member, you get a lot of different buffs, and currently I'm sitting at store level 4, but there are 7 stores, so there are other instances where I could get this. Where is it? There it is. Cav attack by 4%. So I have 4, 8, and then 12% added cav attack that I could get if I were to max out my store to level 7, which would give me a running total of 1063.5%. Now, those are my solid set bonuses. Those are free bonuses, and there's no theory behind it whatsoever. If you max it out, you can get it just like that. Remember, it's always important to max out your science college as well as your lord levels and your hero levels. I didn't go over those because I have those maxed out, but those are very obvious. You should do those too. But let's now go over some theoretical buffs. And why am I saying theoretical? Well, because they either come active at certain times or they won't show in your actual tabulations. And I'll show you what I'm talking about right now. If I go over here into my war buffs, I have 2 different one-time only march buffs, one of which is a non-rally siege cav attack. In one attack, I increase my cav's attack by 30%. With that theoretical number, I am now up to 1093.5. Why is it theoretical? Because if I click on that button, it will not show up in where it shows your base cav attack, but it will show it at the very bottom of the battle report. It just will not show in the final tabulations, but it is there, even though it is not factoring in number-wise. The other version of this is your 20% of non-rally siege troop attacks. This is all of your soldiers. So you have basically an extra 50% from these one-time marches, but with this added 20%, we are now up to 1113.5 potential cav attack. Now let's look at something else here that I do want to show you. Now remember, I did say that we're using a 40% buff. I'll show you one more time. For the purposes of this video, we are using the 40% buff because that's the free version. That's the highest free version, but it goes up all the way to 100. So in theory, if you use the level 100, that's an added 60% on top of the 40% that we went over before, and that brings up our total to 1173.5 cav attack. Now something else that's pretty cool. If you're playing during Kingdom versus Kingdom, like we are currently doing right now, we are currently playing in KVK, and we are losing, but there are buffs that kick in if you have certain things entered. In the Hall of War, the military rank redemptions, if I were to look in here in the military rank, all the way down here where it says Conquest Might, March Speed 100%, attack by 50% during Conquest. I have an added 50% attack to all my troops, but specifically here for Cavs, during the KVK Conquest by 50%. Now that's not all. If I go over here into my college, and I look down here where it says Strongest Kingdom Enhancements. Strongest Kingdom Enhancements, you have something that increases your troop attack in your kingdom and in your opponent's kingdom. That's an added 10% right there. Give us a grand total of 60%, giving us a new total of 12,033.5 cav attack. Now let's go over the last theoretical, because as you can see, we're still nowhere near these people over here who have 1,500% attack, or 1,400% attack. Well, this is going to put us over the edge, gentlemen and ladies. I introduced to you the Overlord equipment. If you don't know what the Overlord equipment is, it is all of the kingdoms divided into 4 different major fighting zones, and you're fighting it out over the throne. There's like over 100 kingdoms that are fighting this. Take every kingdom in Clash of Kings, divided by 4, that's how many kingdoms are fighting over one throne. So only 4 people are getting this type of equipment. I'm showing you right now, and it's ridiculous. You get so much cav attack. I'm not going to go over all these numbers, but if you have all 6, you have a grand total of about 290 something cav attack added. But if you're minusing the Archangel equipment that you already had, which was 34.2%, minus that here, you have a total of 261 added cav attack, which brings our final total up to 1495% cav attack. And I do apologize because I do not know what the set bonus is for it, but I'm pretty sure if you had that, you would be up there with that grand total person of having 1,500 cav attack. It's a lot of stuff, guys. It's an absolute lot of stuff. The only thing I didn't really go over is the dragon abilities over here, but that's because they all say something like this: 20% chance. In life and in COK, I don't deal in what ifs. Okay? Anyone who knows me knows I don't deal in what ifs. I will hit those buttons when I'm hitting someone, but for the sake of this video, I'm not going to go on a you have a chance to get this. No, we don't do chances. But this is basically all you have to do to bring up your cav attack. I say only, but there's a lot of things. If I were you guys, I would focus a lot on your sciences, which is your college, and I would absolutely focus on getting a level 2 or level 3 weapon. I currently have one. If I go down here really quick, maybe I can find it before I end this video. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, I have one that I need to reforge. But really, you want to focus on getting level 2 or level 3 in your Archangel. You definitely want to work on your college sciences. Like I said, make sure you're maxing out this military tree. Get this whole thing done, especially in the cav attack area. And, of course, once you're done getting your T12s, really go back and start maxing out your trees at the top here, which give you the added cav attacks. Because, like I said, that gives you 100. It gives you over 120. I think it gives you 120%. If I'm saying that right. 30, yeah, 120% total altogether cav attack. So I hope this video was enough for you guys. I know there was a lot. There was a ton in there. And I didn't go over everything because I have things that are capped out. But it's hard for me to know what you guys have. So just take whatever information I just gave you and and sort of do a side comparison for your for your castle. Decide on what you want to focus on and just go ham on it. Just do it until you got it, okay? So thanks a lot for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope it was informative. If you have any suggestions for videos, leave it down in the comments below. I read them all the time, and I love to see your comments. So, yep, thanks again for watching, everyone. And until next time, I will see you on the battlefield. If I bleed tonight, if I